How's it going? I hope you're doing as good as I'm doing right now. It was honestly just a good workout, Nothing crazy to say. It was honestly very laid back. That's kind of weird, especially since yesterday was my super big clean and jerk day that I've been hyping up for a while, and I thought I was going to be a lot more tired today, but I was honestly just a little low on mental energy comparatively, and everything felt good, and I just did my best, and it looked like it flew at least. Physically, I'll put, I will give it an 8.9, and then mentally 8.5. Not that I'm doing worse than I normally am. I've had my shittier days than that. It's a great score to have. It's not that I wasn't in it, but it's just one of those days where I wasn't even really thinking much. It's kind of weird. I felt like I was just doing a normal basic workout when it wasn't a basic workout at all. But I think it also has to do with there were very limited homies today. So I couldn't really talk to people about much. So I was kind of just sitting there doing my thing. But regardless, extremely happy with the way things are going. I've never made this much progress before in such a short amount of time. Not just with my numbers, but just my form, my core strength, just everything. Everything's flying, and I've never been more confident and more driven, which is really cool. A little off topic, but I kind of wanted to mention my ideas about how much is enough in your life when it comes to your personal happiness or satisfaction in your daily life. And I don't want to get too convoluted, but I know it's not, this isn't this doesn't have a lot to do with lifting weights, I go off about just life stuff sometimes. But I had a really good conversation with my mother, and it I feel like everybody's got those conversations they'll have in the day. Doesn't matter who it's with, but it'll just spark that little bit of damn, I didn't know I was thinking about that until I was thinking about that. And that's kind of why I do these videos. It's therapeutic. It's a vulnerability that I haven't been experiencing in my life up until doing it. Because it's different. Because I can talk about my shit all day long, but it's so different when it's people that I don't know who will see it or just what will become of it. It's completely devoid of any expectation, which is honestly nice. And I end up talking about shit that I never thought I would have been thinking about. I'm getting off track. But the main thing I want to really emphasize on is there's a big difference when it comes to, that I think people need to realize about, when it comes to your happiness in your quote-unquote generic life versus your extremely personal life, when it's just you individually. Not really thinking so much about the world. And what I mean by that, I don't mean generic as in bland or boring, whatever. Because most people, at least in current society, we have the mindset of you want to get through school, get a good job, try to support your family and your loved ones, and just go enjoy the world while you've got it at your grasp, and just make a career or whatever you end up doing, just some way to fill in the gaps of time until you got none left. And whether that's traveling or just doing work for your career or inventing shit even, you never know. But when it comes to that, I think people overestimate how much they need a lot. And it's not even in a greedy way. It's just we're set up in such a way, especially with inflation and how weird the U.S. government specifically works. It kind of sets you up to make you think that you deserve and need a lot more than what's actually required, because it is so scary getting into this world on your own, especially when you become an adult and you got to take all this shit at once, and you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing. We're not even at the age when you become an adult to understand what you want in life, or how you want to maintain your own happiness. So it's hard to think about your entire future in one sitting. But I guess what I want to get to about it is just when it comes to that quote unquote generic life, I don't think it should be about the money directly. I think there is a firm difference when it comes to wanting the money solely for material goods and just like getting whatever the fuck you want, just that little bit of freedom. Like, I get that, but I think it should come more from a desire or passion to create even more fulfillment in your life. Like, the money I think is better off being seen as an accessory to accomplish the things that will bring about the most happiness in your life. I wish money didn't have such a big part in that, but it does. And so, everybody has a different cap or minimum of what they expect or need in their life. I am fortunate enough to be pretty stable, and not even trying to sound spoiled or whatever. It's just I am extremely grateful to have this position. So I am one of, I think, the rare few nowadays that can kind of just be a little more laid back and just take life at my own pace at a younger age. I think everybody freaks out when they become an adult and they rush the fuck out of their career and they try to do as many things as possible right away. And you honestly have so much time. And I'm a firm believer in, until your passions truly flourish in your life, whether or not like that passion is like doing, like for me it could potentially be doing weightlifting, and I get to the point where I could like go to the Olympics or some shit, and make money off that, or becoming a really, really good in the psychology field, getting something off that. Hell, these videos could do well enough and it could become a means to an end when it comes to my financial stability, even though my original purpose is just the passion of just doing it for the therapeutic purposes. But I firmly believe that along the way in your generic life, it's good to just maintain that minimum you need to survive while ensuring the stability of the non-material or non-money-based things that make your life happy, or just whatever brings about that passion, the happiness, the drive, whatever, the satisfaction, whether it's your friends, your hobbies, your loved ones, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, whatever. I know for me, I personally hold really close my girlfriend, my good friends, my family, and the hobbies I do in the day, like weightlifting or these videos. I hold those things extremely dear, and they're essential to me in my daily life in order to keep maintaining what feels like at least the bare minimum for my basic survival when it comes to the money needed to buy food, do my bills, anything like that. And as long as I keep maintaining that minimum while pursuing my passions along the way and like leading it by a sense of happiness instead of obligation, like most jobs, like you can work a job that you don't want to work but still do your passions on the side. I know everybody's situation is different, but I think it's really important to put aside enough time at just enough, just a little bit every day to pursue some of that passion so that it can one day explode. And when that passion gets there, you're going to be like, damn, why was I freaking out? You never know how good you're going to have it until you get there. And that sucks, but you got to just be ready for when that opportunity comes, and it's never going to come exactly when you want it to, but it'll be there. I can promise you that, as long as you're driven and you keep pushing forward to it. You can't give up and then still expect it to show up. But, just stay consistent in that kind of mindset, I guess. But, I went a little long about that, but just to wrap up a little bit, I wanted to touch on your individual livelihood. And I don't mean just like whatever you end up doing in your daily life. I mean like your personal mentalities, like how you personally are doing. And I don't think enough people focus on their very personal needs that can override so much of what you need in the generic life. Kind of similar to how I was saying, like the personal needs that you get out of the support you get from friends, loved ones, families, your passionate hobbies, like those things that don't generate material income that seem unproductive are truly what are going to make your life the happiest they can be, if that's what you end up wanting to do at some point. It's just the things that you end up wanting to do in your daily life, you know? You can't think too much about the future if you're not enjoying your daily life at like what that you've already got at hand. You know, if you're not enjoying your daily life now and you're banking it on the future, you're probably not going to enjoy your future present, you know? But more than that, I am extremely, it's never ego. I am extremely proud of myself and the fact that I know I'm young. I'm 20 years old. I don't mean to boast self-righteousness or like my way's right, whatever. This is just how I truly feel. You know, it comes from a deeper place than thinking about all of the generic or definitive reasoning behind what we do in our lives. And I have gotten to the point where I could lose everything material-wise. Like I could have no money, I could be homeless, I could have no job. Hell, I could have no, I don't even want to say that. Just whenever it comes to the material stuff, I could lose everything tomorrow. And I am so confident in my own mental maturity, you could say, just how stable I believe I am psychologically. I firmly know that I could make my life happy when it seems like I am at the bottom of the barrel statistically, I guess. And I think that's the big difference between understanding the true sources of happiness in your life versus what people like make you want to believe is needed through obligation, like money and normal jobs and college, whatever. Of course you want to do the best you can to make sure that you're stable for the ones that you love and whatever, and the money and the college and everything you do along the way, those jobs, those are the accessories to get there. I get that, and that's great, and you should do it as long as you are okay doing that and it makes you happy in life. But I am so grateful and happy with myself that I can confidently be at this point to where I could just I create my own happiness. You know, it feels like a superpower, but it's not as far-fetched as people think it is. It seems so surreal in the current world to have so much happiness in one lifetime without a shit ton of money or a shit ton of contacts, friends, vacations, material goods, whatever. But you truly create your own happiness. You are only limited by how much you limit yourself. And as cliche or cringy that might sound, it's true. You know, you cannot keep comparing yourself to others and expect to feel this way. You know, everybody's gonna have, like, no matter how well you do, there will always be someone above you. That is just how the world works. That's something I've learned through weightlifting. You constantly, when you start getting good at it, you really start comparing so much to everybody around you instead of focusing on your individual success and passion about what you're doing. And it's debilitating. It destroys the purpose of driving for that passion. You know, it should be for you to maintain your daily life. It shouldn't be to compare yourself to others, because no one, let's be real, no matter how much someone loves and supports you, everybody's out to fulfill their individual life. Everybody, and this is a good thing, everybody individually has to come first before the people in their lives. So you can get all the support you want, but they don't give a shit the second they move on with their life. It's all got to be up to you. So this is why I don't compete. I don't need to, because I love this shit so much that I don't feel a need to do it. You know, it doesn't matter if my weights, people say that I lift enough that I should be throwing that shit on a stage and I'm wasting my potential by just doing it on my own. No, the fuck I'm not. It creates an outlet of satisfaction and true happiness in my life that I can be confident in my own ability to create this happiness in other ways. That's what's so nice about finding a passion that you truly love and commit to, is it teaches you along the way that other things that seem like they can't bring about that same happiness and drive, they really can. People always assume that when it comes to family and friends and loved ones, it's just all like, oh, well, the love's just going to be there anyway, so I don't really have to think about it much. When you really commit to those relationships and put in your best effort, it can create its own line of passion. I love my girlfriend more than anything. It's unconditional to the highest fucking degree, but it's a selfish love. I will do anything for her if it means her happiness, because her happiness is an accessory to my happiness. And I know not a lot of people experience that kind of a feeling with someone else, but if not in someone else, whatever you find passion in, try to commit to it long enough and stay consistent long enough to where you can feel that. I could grab something off the fucking ground at this point and just be like, all right, let's see how I can make my day happy with this piece of junk. And there's always some way to do it. It's truly just a mindset. As simple as it seems, it's always easier said than done. But once you really accept that you can be happy without needing all the basic things that people say you have to have in life, you can live at a peak without depending on all these other things that don't actually fucking matter. They'll never... all the material shit does not last. It's never going to. So why bank your happiness on it? Why bank your happiness on a job or a career or whatever when you're not happy yourself? You got to be happy personally in order to fulfill the passions and satisfaction that you feel in those other things that are material. But I don't know. I went off a little way too hard. I thought this was going to be a little bit shorter, but I guess I had more to say. Kind of like I was saying earlier, I always got more to say than I think. But that's the point of it, But I don't know how much the people might relate to it. But I really think it's an awesome thing to feel this kind of a feeling. So if this is something that someone may have needed to hear today, fuck it. That's good for me. That turns into happiness in my life. So, if not, just take whatever you want out of it. That's the whole thing. Make your own experiences and make your own happiness. But other than that, I'm going to go eat the fuck out of a pie and be fat for the night. So I appreciate anybody who listened regardless. And I hope you have a great life otherwise. Bye.